Hello, everyone. This is Dayhawk, and this is the final episode of Kamen Rider Revice. I can't believe it's here, and I don't want it to see it go, but all good things must come to an end, right? Um, so I will get started on a recap, and and towards the end, I will give my overall thoughts and just say a few final words, and then um, in my next video I'm gonna do an overall review of the series itself. I honestly don't know how long it's gonna be. Maybe I will turn it into two parts. I don't know, but I will try my best to do it justice, because Revice, with its flaws, and there's a few flaws, maybe more, it was a great show. And no show is perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect show. However, you know, in my list of writers, I consider it to be one of my top 5 of best common writers, at least for me. So let's get started, shall we? I don't want to blabber so much, but you know me. So the episode begins with Ikki and Vice, doing their rider punches at each other. They demorph, and poor Ikki is so confused on what's going on. Like, he asks Vice, like, why are you doing this? Like, I'm confused. Like, what's going on? And Ikki spots Lovey's tail, and Ikki knew right there and then that this whole thing was a sham. This is a setup. And it's funny how Lovey was exposed, and then next you know, you have Mama-san, Daiji, and Sakura, and maybe Hana trying to pull Lovey back where they were hiding from. And if I were Ikki, I was like, okay, time out. Just come out. The jig is up. It's over. What the hell is going on? But instead of doing that, Ikki realized what Vice is trying to do. And he figured, well, alright, I will humor him. Let's see where this goes. I think it's his way of trying to help me somehow. So Ikki tells Vice, hey, let's do a round 2. Let's do a round 2. And they transform. They do their poses for one last time, and then you'll see all their memories of them together from episode 1 up till now. And then we get to see the flashback where Vice is holding a meeting in the spa with Ikki's family and his close friends. However, there was one person missing. Hikaru. Hikaru was not there. Why isn't he there? Because he is more a part of this group than anybody else in that spa. So how come Vice never gave him the memo or something? I mean, it goes to show how quote unquote important Hikaru is, I guess. But my god, I'm not gonna say anymore. I want to save it on my video that I'm gonna do for my overall review, so I'm not gonna rant too much other than, where is Hikaru? Anyways, Vice is holding a meeting, tells everybody that I have a plan that may help get Ikki's memories back. And the plan is to make Ikki transform for one last time. And when that happens, Vice will cease to exist. He will disappear. In turn, Ikki's memories of his family will return. And of course, everybody is against it. Like, they want Ikki's memories to come back, but not at the expense of Vice's existence. And Vice is like, he knows that, but there's no other way. Let me do this for Ikki one last time. I want to see him happy again. I don't want to see you guys feeling all sad because he doesn't remember you. Let me do this for you guys. And that goes to show how much Vice has grown and changed throughout the year. Because in the beginning, Vice was all about trying to eat people, trying to like cause misery, do pranks. But now he's a changed demon, and he knows that his existence, would of being on this earth will be gone. But he realized that he loves Ikki so much that he's willing to sacrifice himself in order to regain Ikki's smile. And that's, to me, is pretty powerful. And also, there were more people who were included in this master plan, and these group of people were the same people that Ikki saved along the way. And I thought that was a nice, cool touch. Because at first when I saw the photos that leaked out, I was like, who the hell are these people in the background? And like, they better not be like strangers. But ultimately and thankfully, they were not strangers. They were not. And so there's another thing that I wanted to mention. Vice created the contract. Can he just change it? And I guess maybe it's just too late to change it, but it's strange that Vice doesn't have ownership, control over his contracts, and just like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna change it here and do a little scribble there, or maybe just tear it up. It's strange that he doesn't have that control, but all right. So we get back to the fight. We get to see Ikki's family and friends out of hiding, and the overall match was goofy. It was meant to be goofy because it's Ikki and Vice. What do you expect? So I wasn't really expecting like a serious fight like you had with Kaito versus Gaim, that level, I guess. But this is meant to be goofy, having fun, because you see Vice doing the swing, you see Ikki turning Vice into a ball. They end up destroying their final forms. Well, they allowed each other to destroy their final form, so they're back at their basic champion form, if you might say. And then we get the chance to see the V stamps once again, because if you remember, in between episode 1 up to obtaining their ultimate form, there were power-ups in between. And Kamen Rider unfortunately has a history where once they attain their ultimate form, the other power-ups that they've used along the way, they disappear. They become non-existent. they figured, oh, it's useless now. I'm gonna use my ultimate form up to the point where I get my mega final form. It's been that way for decades. Yeah, it's something to point out, but it's nice to see them again. They get to transform into their monster forms with their poor CGI. It's horrible. Toei has money. I still can't believe they cannot improve on their CGI, but I digress. And as they were fighting and using their V stamps on each other, the memories that you see at the sky, one by one, they're starting to disappear. And it led to two memories. And as Vice was about to transform into his ultimate form, his spirit, his very physical being, is starting to disappear. You see all these blue particles, and he falls down, and Ikki demorphs, just runs towards him. And that final scene with them together, you see Ikki holding Vice, and just Vice telling him, like, this is it, after this, you will never remember me. Your memories of me will disappear. You will no longer remember me. And Ikki, said that, no, that's not true. You're part of my family. I will never forget you. You'll always be a part of me forever. And Vice, says thank you. And he is gone. And the last two memories of them together disappear along with it. And he ends up crying. And you see, Ikki's family and friends just in tears. However, when Ikki looked up and looks at his family, he says their names: Papa, Mama, Sakura, Daiji. His memories has returned. You see his images from all the photos, his images has returned. They came back. And everybody just ran towards Ikki, give him a hug, and, they have their happy ending, I guess, but at the expense of Vice. But, Vice is, the true hero, because he sacrificed his own existence for Ikki to regain his memories back. And, yeah. Also, I wanted to say, no, you know what? I'm going to save it until after this. So several months has passed after the final fight. Ikki doesn't remember Vice at all, and I don't think he remembers him being a writer. Of course his family and friends know about Vice. They know about him being a writer, but Ikki does not. His memories of their adventures are gone. So I don't know if they told, the story of Vice and him being a writer and fighting GIF and all that. I don't think they have, or maybe they did and Ikki didn't believe them. That's still up in the air. So you see Ikki and the family cleaning up the spa. They're about to reopen the spa, and you see, this Vice rubber ducky, and Ikki spots it, and he's like, what the hell is this? I should throw it away. But, well, he asked first, and then everybody was like, no, don't do it. And Ikki was like, why? Oh, well, it's our guardian angel, and just leave it. Just leave it. And Ikki's like, okay, all right, I'll leave it there. It's cool. Which leads me to what I was about to say. Remember in the last video, Ikki got hired at that ramen place? Did he ever go back and say, like, hey, like, I may have to quit this job? It's a funny story, but I have a job already, so I do apologize for wasting your time, because several months has passed and I thought we were gonna have a cutscene where Ikki is working at the ramen restaurant, but apparently Ikki just broke the news that he's not working there anymore. So that sucks. um, and so we lead to Daiji, Hiromi, Hana, and Takumi, and Daiji is reforming Phoenix. So Phoenix is no more. It's now called the Bluebird. And I don't think it's going to be like Phoenix where they have their own police force and all that stuff that they have from the beginning. This is going to be different. I think it's just like a shelter or an organization that helps people who listen to the whispers of a demon and giving them a second chance at life. It's pretty much like a rehab center almost. And Hana and Takumi have a new lease on life. They have their second chance because apparently Daiji helped them, get their sentences suspended. They get houses and have a normal life. So they are helping Daiji, with the Bluebird project, and Hiromi is there as well. And you see Kagero is like, Bluebird? No, I prefer the Blackbird. And Daiji was like, that name sucks. No. And Kagero is like, at least give me credit for the nice outfits, that my idea of those nice outfits. And Daiji's like, all right, I'll give you credit. Man, that was so Phoenix is no more. Also, the weekend is no more as well. And then we get to see Sakura and Lovey at a cafe, and Hikaru spots her. And yeah, so several months later, Hikaru pops up. Alright, okay. And he talks about him adjusting to his new life. We don't know what happened to Hikaru. Like, did he get adopted or is he living independently? We don't know. All we know that Sakura is going to go to medical school. And if Hikaru wanted to let his feelings known about him having feelings towards her, this scene was his chance. But it didn't happen. And I mean, in my opinion, if they wanted to go that route, they missed it. So they blew it on that. So either they dropped it or he's going to confess sometime in the near future. And then we get to see George and Oteka, and apparently George has been visiting him during those months. And you see Oteka like, I'm gonna help you out. If you need a helping hand, I'll be there. So apparently George is gonna have a new assistant, an apprentice, you might say. even though that scene itself was completely out of nowhere, like what's going on there, like, you know. And I thought Hirumi was gonna ask like, why are you meeting him? What's going on? I thought we were gonna have an explanation, but we didn't. Um, Obviously George sees something in him that is worth saving. I think he believes that he could be saved, and yeah, so I think Oroteka is getting his redemption arc, and let's see if later on he approaches Takumi and Hana and asks for their forgiveness, because when last saw those three together, Hana and Takumi is like, nah, I'm not gonna forgive you. Mm-mm. And so after the meeting, George and Hirumi meet at the prison. Hirumi gives a bouquet of flowers to George and tells him that, before you do anything, visit your father's grave and, spend time with him. And yeah, George agreed, and they went on their married way. And then, if I remember yes, I almost forgot. Ikki is playing soccer once again. And as he was playing, he kicks the ball, or somebody kicks the ball, and he goes and gets it. And then, lo and behold, his idol is there. And, Ikki is stunned, like, it's you, like, it's you. And I forgot his name, but he asked Ikki, you're pretty good. Do you consider, like, are you considering going pro? And Ikki was like, I think it's too late for me. I'm too old. And he replied back saying that if this is what you want, don't lose sight of it. Keep going. Even if it's for an inch, at least you're moving forward. Don't lose sight of it. Don't give up on your dream. And one day you will make it. And he ends up leaving, and Ikki has that moment, that happy moment that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it, And then we witnessed the Last Supper at the Igarashi household. They're eating, they're happy, they're laughing. And lo and behold, Ikki was all of a sudden did like something that only Vice would do, and everybody was in shock. And it goes to show that Vice is in there, because remember, Vice is Ikki's quote-unquote dark half, and I feel that Ikki and Vice are whole once again, just like Veil and Genta are. So we see, the family eating for one last time, and then we get to see the passing of the torch scene. Ikki comes out from the spa, sees a box. He wonders what's inside. He's shaking the box, and as he was about to open it, I believe, you have Ace, pops up, grabs it, saying that it's his. And Ikki's like, you should be more careful if it's yours. And, Vice was talking to Ikki. I don't remember the conversation, but it was pretty short. And takes out the Revice buckle, and starts to edit it to his driver, and he starts leaving, but not before he says, I'm gonna see you later. And Ikki was like, wait, what? And then Ace leaves, and you see the Git sign and the Revice sign as he just walks away, and that's the end. Revice is over. It's done. It's in the books now. And next Sunday, episode 1 of Kamen Rider Geats. Like I said, it was a bittersweet ending. It was a good episode. There was a few things that I was upset about, like instance Hikaru not being in the audience witnessing Ikki's and Vice's final match. He wasn't there in the planning stage, and he showed up a few months during the time skip, and we don't know anything that, like, what has he been doing in the past few months, aside from adjusting life. Like, is he adopted or living on his own? We don't know anything about him. The Oroteka in jail scene, it was completely out of nowhere, but I get the gist that George is trying to help him get, be redeemed and all that stuff. So I see George, and Oteka working together. Daiji with his new project, trying to recreate this new organization. Phoenix is no more, the Weekend is no more. And for Ikki, and also I forgot to mention that Mama-san has this new channel, and it's kicking Papa-san's channel's ass. And Mr. Boo was like mentioning it, and then Genta was like giving dirty looks. I forgot to mention that. And I want to say something about Ikki. And Vice, I forgot, but Vice gave Ikki a second chance at life. He is returning to soccer. Him just meeting his idol, telling him to keep moving forward with his dream, don't lose sight of it. It's just, I don't know, to me, like, Vice, regardless how I feel about his character, Vice did the selfless thing to help his partner in crime, and that is giving him a second chance at life. He is living his normal life. He's playing soccer again, and he's happy again. And it sucks that he won't remember Vice. He won't remember that he's a Kamen Rider, but I'm sure his family will tell the story of him being a writer and about Vice someday. But he will get his memory back, and it's gonna be cool. It was a great episode. It wasn't perfect. It had its issues, like I mentioned before, but it was a satisfying ending. A sad one, but it was satisfying. And Geeks, we'll see what's gonna happen there. Well, thank you so much for sticking around for the whole year of Revice. Can you believe it? A whole year of watching Revice has already passed, and a new writer will continue on fighting evil and all that. And it's sad to see it go. But there's no such thing as a season 2, season 3. They just keep on going. But there's always reruns. And I consider Revice at my top 5. That's how good it is. Alright, guys. tell me tell me, did you watch the episode? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? And if you dislike it, if you had the opportunity to change it, what would you change? And also, did I miss anything? Because I sometimes feel that I missed something and all that, but if anything, if I indeed missed something, just write on the comments below. And thank you so much for listening. And, let's continue on this writer journey with Geets, right? Shall we? And my overall review of the season will be coming soon. And, yeah, that's it. Oh, also, give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of oblivion. Johnny!